Hi, lovies. This is Christina with Karma's Eye Psychic LLC here on Universal Spirit Podcast. Today, I have a special guest named Emilie Muniz. She is the author and the creator of the Simplicity Tarot deck, and we are here to just get pretty much knowing everything about her, what inspires her. This is a beautiful, beautiful deck. If you haven't gotten it, please purchase it. We have it available on our website. However, you can also get them at US Game Systems Inc. And Emilie, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Emilie Muniz, the creator of Simplicity Tarot. What could I say about myself? I divine. I'm a full-time diviner, but I'm also heavily into spirituality. I practice ATR religion, such as Palo, Santeria, and Espiritismo. And my whole life kind of revolves around, spirituality and divination. I created the tarot deck, Simplicity Tarot. I wanted to make tarot reading easy, basically, for everyone. A lot of people, when I was growing up, was like, "Oh, I'm really interested in tarot, but it's scary, or it's hard, or it's complicated." So I created Simplicity Tarot with kind of the beginners in mind. Like, I
Mhm.
took myself back to when I first started learning divination. I was like, "Oh gosh, like this was so complicated. I couldn't understand the cards." So I created it, me and my artist, to make it easy to understand the images. And I added keywords, in the bottom, so it could just be kind of linked together. And so anybody at any level could just take a card out and basically read tarot, right? So that's kind of the basis of it, of why I created it. Always also people like, "Oh, it's scary." So I wanted to make it light, right? And welcoming to people, so it won't be scary and intimidating. And welcoming is the word. So that's how I created, Simplicity Tarot. Yeah, and you know, this deck was probably like the third that I tried. It was like trial and error until Simplicity Tarot came out. I was like,
Yeah.
I got it. It was successful. Okay, I did it. But definitely it wasn't my first attempt in creating a tarot deck, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
So, what was your first experience with tarot? How old were you?
11. And I'm 39 now, right? Um, but my first experience with tarot started around 11. I grew up in Brooklyn, in Bushwick, right? Around that time, it was a lot of noise about spiritismo. So spiritismo, a lot of spiritual stuff. And my mother would invite spiritualists in the house, like all the time. It was like even a social event. You invite people over, and they would read your coffee cup, like in the kitchen. That's how it traditionally was.
Okay.
And you'll just gossip, and they'll read your fortune, and we'll speak about spiritual stuff, or how to protect yourself, or things you could do spiritually to get what you wanted, or cleansings and stuff. So one day my mom had someone come over to read her coffee cup, taza de café. That's how we say it in Spanish. I'm Puerto Rican. And then the lady came. Well, I used to call her Tia, but I think everyone just calls everyone Tia when you see them more than a few times. That's all, right? And she was like, "Yeah, come over here, Nana." And I was like, "That's me. That stands for like little girl. You got the gift. Tell me what you see in this cup." And I was like, "Okay," and I just read the cup and kind of described what I saw in the cup with the images, and it just started from there. She said I was accurate. I don't remember what I told the woman. And it was really intriguing. I felt empowered, like, "Oh my God, I got superpowers." I was so young. And from then on, she kept coming. I started reading her cup. She taught me how to
Wow.
read cup. I started reading cup for other people, and then it just went into tarot cards. It was just something that just happened. Started reading tarot, and when I picked up my first tarot deck, I was like, I felt like, you know, when you just freeze and then like everything just goes backwards, or you kind of just being pivoted into the future, like it's like you
Yes.
know, like speed is like like, and I was like, this is what I want to do, you know. I was like, I was like, this is it. Like, I love it. I love it, you know. Um, and I just never looked back. There was a passion that I had. I was like, man, I would love to create one of these, you know. And there wasn't a lot of books on tarot cards then, at all, but there was a lot of information more on it. In Spanish for some reason. Maybe it was like the Walter Mercado era, you know? So there was a lot of Spanish books on it, and I would translate the Spanish books bit by bit to understand the card meanings and things like that. So it just was something that just got me really intrigued into it. You know, everyone loved Walter. I wanted to be just like this guy. He was so, you know, mysterious and intriguing and elaborate with like the golds and stuff. So that he inspired me about the little gold that I like putting everywhere, you know. Um so, and he's Puerto Rican like me, you know, so it was very inspiring. But yeah, that's what got me. That's like the beginning. And I was so young and I got into tarot card collecting and things like that. But that's in the beginning of how it just started. And I was very young. And look, I'm still here. People thought, you know, it was a phase, but it's not a phase, you know? I just kept
Right.
going. Yeah, I just kept going. I was so passionate about it. And I really enjoyed the artwork of the tarot cards. Like every deck, someone described the cards differently and how it was expressed through their art. And I just kept collecting because I was intrigued to see how they saw the card and interpreted it in their own way through their. And
Yes.
that's why I collected so many. I got hundreds of tarot decks. Hundreds. People are like, why? You're not going to use all those decks. I was like, but I have them all. You know, like I have them all. And since I do this, you know, for a living, I never get bored of it. I just pop up a new tarot deck. And when I'm reading, I'm like looking at the images. You know, it keeps it fresh. So I love it. Yeah. I'm over here babbling. But yeah.
No, I love it. I want to know it, and this is interesting. So, would it be safe to say that 11 would was like your time where you knew you could create one, or when did your artistic talents become very, you know,
Well,
official to you?
listen, I cannot draw for my life. I cannot draw for my life. Okay, I cannot draw for my life. So let me just tell you, if you are not a tarot, if you don't know how to draw, you can still create a tarot deck. I just want to let you know. You could totally create a tarot deck, and that's what I did. I hooked up with, first of all, you have to find the right artist. I mean, I think this was like my fourth, fifth artist. You know, you really have to get a vibe. You have to learn how to communicate with them to express exactly what you want, and so they could draw it, you know, and they got to be consistent and really dedicated to a tarot deck because it's 7 to 8 cards. This is a big project. It's a huge project to take on, you know, the digital formatting and how it could go to the printing press. So I hired artists, you know, but it was a lot of trial and error to find the perfect artist. So I found an artist and we collaborated, and he's my artist. So we collaborated on decks. Um, Actually, it's Simplicity Tarot, but I finished Simplicity Lenormand as well, and I got Fox Crystal Tarot that we just finished probably last month. Is my third deck that I did with him. The publishing, yeah. But so I collaborated with an artist. You know, I had visions in my mind, but it didn't get to manifest really on paper, you know, until I met him years ago. But that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah.
Well, that's my next question. So now, what do you consider a good vibe? What made you resonate with the images that has now become Simplicity Tarot? What resonated with you the most?
I wanted something like in the clouds. I wanted to feel welcoming. I wanted it to feel peaceful. You understand? I wanted it to have that kind of vibe. And Simplicity Tarot went through maybe 6, 7, different type of transitions before it got to this final copy. So it really is, no, do this. No, lighten the colors. No, I want swirls in here. I think it was the swirls. The swirls on
The
it. We were like,
swirls. Right.
we got to keep the swirls. Swirls is our theme here. We're going to keep
Okay.
it the niche. It's welcoming. It feels friendly. And I want light colors. I don't want nothing kind of too saturated. I want it light, like it makes you feel like you're in the clouds. So that's what we were trying to go for. Yeah.
I love it because I definitely got that very simplicity feeling from it as well. Very light, very welcoming. Would it be safe to say that you maybe subconsciously created this for your 11-year-old self?
Well, that's exactly, it wasn't subconscious. It was exactly who I was doing it for. I said, when I was little, what did I want it? What did I want it? And I remember I had, I think it's called the Witch's Tarot. It's from the 007, like in the 70s. I forgot. I think it's called the Witch's Tarot, the Tarot of the Witches, something like that. And I remember picking up that first card. I'm like, what the hell does this mean? It's just like, I was like, how can I read this? And I was like, wow, this is gonna be hard, right? So when I was creating it, I was like, well, what would I be telling my 11-year-old self? Like, what does she want it to make this easier, right? Because I was so excited. I was like, I'm gonna read tarot. It's gonna be easy. And it's just all gonna come together. And then I pulled out that card. I was like, what the F is this? It's just batons or wands or sticks. I was like, and I remember that feeling, and I felt kind of defeated at that point, But of course, I took my time to learn more. But I wanted to kind of eliminate that for the beginner, right? I wanted you to flip your first card and be like, this is what it means. And I could see this is what it means, and I feel it. And I got this. I wanted to inspire them to keep on reading, because having the tool of divination is so powerful. You get your past, your future, you get to tap into your spiritual guides, you get to tap in and speak to a loved one. You could even do spells with it. This is such a powerful gift, a pack of cards. That 78 cards are portals, to different worlds. And I wanted it to be like a gift to them. Like, I got this. I could do this. I got this in my hand. And it has the words. So I know exactly what it means. There's no doubt that this is not what it means. So yeah, it was for her. It was for 11-year-old Emmy. That's what it was for, really. Yeah.
Well, we thank 11-year-old Emmy for bringing this project.
Complicated at all, and I really wanted it to be a teaching tool as well. Okay. Like, well, I don't know how to read tarot. Buy my deck. You got this. You got this. Put compound words together. This card says this, and then put the other word together. Put them together. Let's see what it makes. What new word it makes. Yeah.
Yes. At what point did you ever have any doubts, or did your confidence ever leave you when you considered creating a tarot deck? Not even just this one, like any ones in the future. When was your confidence at its highest? When was it at its lowest?
I think when I first pitched my first deck and it got rejected, right? But then I think I had so much support. They told me why I was rejected. So for the first hit, you're like, oh no, like, oh God, it's not good enough. You get like a little bit. And I was like, you know what? But these are professionals. So tell me, what are you looking for? And what is good about this deck? They're like, well, you got X, Y, and Z is really good, but we're looking for this and this because of the market is like this and this. So I took it as, this is not a failure at all. I got to this point, right? So teach me, teacher. I was like, this is good. Right. So all the information as really guidance, and was like, let's go from scratch. I'm going to start a whole new deck, because I could do this. And I was like, what do What do I need to fix? And I did it. I think what's was the most difficult is finding an artist, someone that vibe with you, someone that won't give up,
Okay.
because it's a long project. Someone that has patience with you. That's it. It's very time consuming. It's a lot of time. But that's where your passion comes, that you don't give up, right? You have to be understanding that you're also working with another person and trying to describe what's in your head. Yeah.
So how, I mean, so I'm pretty sure you are extremely proud of yourself. I'm pretty sure your family is proud of you, right?
I
Like, how
am.
does it feel to have, your name on something that is in this really large tarot world?
I mean, it feels great. It's my dream. It's been my dream since I was a kid, literally. It was one of the first things I said to myself when I touched my first tarot deck. It really is. It really was. I said, I want to make one of these. Like, and I was like, I want to, and I will. I don't even know how I'm gonna get there. I was like, this is such a far-fetched thing, but here I am. But it feels like a great accomplishment to have something that you've been thinking about and then working hard, and then you have this tangible little box that it's at Barnes and Nobles or it's on Amazon. It's like, holy shit, this is real. It's so exciting. I'm
Right.
really proud of myself. I'm like, I did it. I
Yes.
have this object, this pack of cards with my name, and even when I pass away one day, it's still here and people could use it. It's like a helpful tool to people, and that was my dream, to help people. Like you said, you help your 11-year-old self. I was like, and even my kids, I'm teaching my kids with something I made. It's like, I feel very proud of myself. I really do. I really do. It feels great.
Well, great, because they are definitely beautiful for sure.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
they are. They really are. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you. I really haven't. It's almost like I can even I can even jump back into time. And when I look at it, sometimes it reminds me of like even like the most famous like board games I've played, where it's like you turn this famous board game into a tarot deck, which is kind of like, age appropriate for me now as I'm in my 30s, right? Like I saw the box and I was just like, that looks like Candyland or Chutes and Ladders, but for
Yes.
like
And
people going into the spirit world.
the chariot is a heroine, it's not a guy too. I was like, I want the chariot, the hero, to be a woman,
Right.
a heroine. I was like, she's gonna be a bad bitch, and she's gonna be a woman of color with curly hair and just riding this chariot. I was like, she got this. That's also it's a big card for me. I was like, okay, I love the chariot. That's kind of me there too, because I am a Cancerian, so. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. And I was like, this needs to be the face of this deck. And there wasn't a lot of tarot decks with the front at that time when it got published of people of color. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for everybody, for us, of people with different skin tones, brown skin, black. We're gonna have a face of us women too on a deck. So that was the reason why I did that. It was like a proud moment. Not everybody knows that, but I was like, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be the face of this deck. I love it. I love it.
Well, that is one of the dropping things about it. The first thing I noticed about it was that there was in fact a female on the cover, giving me, obviously, foreshadowing what's going to be to come in the deck, and I think that is a brilliant thing to do, especially nowadays. It definitely shows the evolving, of spirituality, because it is mostly known that, women like to use tarot cards, but it's more like, yes, you do always see a man as the chariot,
Yeah.
and that is something that is very eye-opening, because now it makes me want to see what do the other cards look like, like what other rules are we breaking here, or what other, personality, that is different in this deck that you don't see in other, decks that are pretty much copying each other, if I'm safe to say that, I would say about 90% of those cards out there are kind of like copying each other, right?
Yeah.
And this one does definitely add a huge layer of individuality, right?
Yeah.
An extra layer of mirth and just
Yeah. It was
heart.
it's like the Rider Waite, because that's my favorite tarot deck in the world is the
Mhm.
Rider Waite. I love I love it all. The Rider Waite is my go-to tarot deck. That is my favorite one. So I was like, okay, we're gonna do the Rider Waite, but we're gonna integrate different, nationalities, people of color. We got Asians and we got, Indian descent. We're gonna mix it up here. We're gonna change it up a little bit, and I want people to flip a card and be like, oh, this could be me too. You know? I want them to really, be personal with the deck, and this was something we was going for too. So it was great. I mean, it was great, and I was like, I did it. We did it, and it came actually to be. So publishing takes about 2 years just to get it out there. It's
Mhm.
such a long process, and you're like waiting because you're like, I know I did it, I finished it, and then you got to wait 2 years. So that's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like you're sitting on your hands the whole entire time. Yeah, yeah. People don't know that it does take time just to get it published after you've done. After you're done.
And what is that weight like? It's like, you're waiting to hold gold in your hand, like the
Yeah, the
absolute
weight
finished
is
project.
I want to see how people gonna view it, how they're gonna respond to it. Are they gonna like it? Is it gonna work for them? Is it as easy as I thought it would be? You sometimes I don't want to look at reviews, but I'm like, I just wanted to be out there. I wanted to travel the world. A lot of people in Europe are really taking on to the deck. I see it, and it's like amazing just to know that
Mhm.
it's in another
Okay.
country, several countries. I think that to me was like a wow factor. Like, wow, wow.
Now, do they standardly print it in other languages?
I know, no, no. And I don't think it's a standard. I think I'm not sure, but no. I feel like it comes off as another edition when they do in a different language or something. Um, Simplicity Tarot did start off as a Kickstarter. I self-published it first. And then we raised a lot of money, like almost 20,000, I think. And then US Games took over. Yeah.
So, so in order for it to be published in Spanish, you have to have another edition of Simplicity.
I don't know. I don't know, but I think so. I think so that it
Okay.
will be like the Spanish edition. I think it will have to all be translated by somebody else and stuff. Yes. Yeah. But that would
Okay.
be a really good idea if they did that. If they did that, I think that would be totally awesome, right? Like
I
Spanish.
think it would be great because that's something
Great.
that has kept me from publishing because I wouldn't want to publish it just in English. I mean, everybody wants to, have everything translatable, right? But you're telling me I just learned something new that I did not know that you would have to have like a second edition. It doesn't come as like a standard thing, and I'm
It
pretty sure it
probably
would take longer.
Yeah, I think no, I think they will publish like probably like the English one from what I've seen. Like there's decks, it will be like an English one, and then if they will publish it in a different country, they will have it translated. It'll be like, like the Italian edition or something, or the Spanish
Mm-hmm.
edition, it would be something different. Yeah.
So I just wanted to know how much of reading tarot and being a tarot reader, how is that incorporated into the things that you believe, like in your belief systems, your religions, and your spiritual, you
Every,
know?
everything. I mean everything,
Okay.
because in my religion, my spiritual beliefs, even when asking spirit something, we check with divination. Everything needs to be confirmed through divination, so it's not just coming out of our minds. It's like, is this true? We have to divine to have that confirmation. And even sometimes divine even in front of people so they could see the divination being thrown down so it could be confirmed. You understand? So divination is important in my spiritual practices. It really is. Yes.
So it's more like the prequel to anything, right?
Well,
it's like
the mouth,
the
right?
first
It's
gate.
the communication. It's the line of communication of how you connect with them and then get the confirmation. It is absolutely like, hey, do you want this? Yes or no? Or let's divine. And then you get the answer there. You know, it's the way the spirit speaks to you. Yeah.
Right. Is it safe to ask, what part did any of your spirit guides or ancestors play in the publishing of this product?
Oh, a lot. I have the spiritual the spiritual card, the Gitana card. Spiritual guide card is an extra card. I have two extra cards in Simplicity Tarot. It's the spiritual guide card, and then there's the spiritual cleansing card, right? Because for me, speaking to your spiritual guides is extremely important for guidance, right? So I have one of my spirits in my spiritual court. It's my Gitana. I'm sure if you've seen my Facebook, I do like this big celebration for her every year around my birthday. And I was like, hey, because she likes traveling around the world. She likes being known, and you know, she's a spirit that does like to travel. I was like, if you help me get this done, I will make a card for you, put you in this deck, and you will travel the world to a whole bunch of new places.
Wow.
People will know you. And I did it, and it happened, right? So I got the contract, it happened, I put her in the deck, and that was our agreement, and it worked, right? So there you go. So it was really kind of the heart of making this happen, you know. So that is something we also practice. You got to make pacts, you know. If you say you're gonna do something, you better do it, right? Because if you have your back, have yours, you know. So that it's, you know, not a lot of people know that. That was a beautiful question, so thank you. Right, so that is one of the reasons why you see her card in the deck of Simplicity Tarot. People are like, who is this card?
So I was curious about that. That was something different.
You're like, what is this? But I explain it as a spiritual guide, so you can use that card as a key card to speak to your spiritual guide, whatever it may be, you know. Or if you see it come out in a reading, it's that your spiritual guide is trying to communicate with you, and that's mine.
Nice.
Yeah. The spiritual cleansing card is something that usually in our readings in the ATR religion, it comes out a lot often. Like, you got to do a cleansing for this, you got to do a cleansing for this, you know. Spiritual hygiene is very important. So I wanted to incorporate that card in my tarot deck, you know, because it kind of defines the things that I do. Yes.
That was amazing, because I did see that one. That was an extra layer of interesting mirth that was added to this deck, and it's just like, oh, there's something else that I've never seen before. Just to start to wrap up, what is your favorite card in the deck? Like, what's your favorite, most proud of?
I don't know, there's so many. I gotta say my spiritual guide card. It's true. It's true. It is like I even blew up that card and put it on my shrine, because I'm like, you did it.
Okay.
You know, it is my favorite, because I mean, that's one of my main guides, you know, that walk with me. You know, I read full time I read full time, right? That's what I do. So me and her walk very close, you know, and she's always had my back, and just to see that there is a card of her, and then, you know, my shrine there that's circulating, and other people could connect with it. I'm very proud of it. I'm very, very proud of that card. Yeah,
because it definitely is a beautiful, beautiful card. It does jump out at you. It does give me like a feeling of, I don't know, like relief, or just, I don't know, like being proud.
I got
like
your back. I got your back here. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, for sure. So I don't think I have any more questions at this time. Do you have any questions or any comments?
No, I mean, I'm just gonna keep saying, I'm gonna say this. If you are inspired to create a deck, even if you don't have no skill in your body to draw, that shouldn't stop you from still trying to create a deck. Anything is possible. If I could do it, this girl from Brooklyn, you can as well. A lot of people used to laugh at me. I was like, what you do? I'm a tarot reader. They used to laugh at me. But I just kept going because I'm really passionate about this. So just want to say, don't give up on your dreams. Sometimes you got to keep your dreams to yourself, because there's maldeojo, that means evil eye. People don't believe in that, and that could just throw some shade. Sometimes you got to keep your dreams to yourself for a little bit until they manifest, but don't give up on it. And even if things may seem difficult, that doesn't mean that it's impossible. So go for your dreams, go for it. Don't Things could be blockages, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna block your road for good. All right. So that's all I want to say. Like, go for it. I had a lot of blocks, but I just was like, fuck it, I'm a problem solver. I'm gonna resolve this problem.
Right.
And anytime that I slipped up, it just gave me more insight of how to do it better. All right. So that's what I want to say. I want to always inspire people to just go for it and, go for their dreams no matter what. That's the truth.
That's beautiful. That's very warm, touching. I'm definitely inspired by it. I'm definitely changed by it, because
Awesome.
you never get too old to hear that, right? So Emilie, where can our listeners find you?
Tarotbyemilie.com, or you can just put Emilie Muniz. And my mom is special, so it's spelled Emilie Muniz, Muniz. I could be found on Facebook and Instagram and all those social media stuff, but I should pop up if you just put it on Google. But Tarot by Emilie is my main website, so check me out there, or simplicitytarot.com if you want to purchase the deck, or usgames.com, or Amazon. Yeah, Barnes and Nobles.
Well, thank you, Emilie, for having this interview with me. Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you for, telling us all about your journey. I sincerely appreciate it. I'm inspired so much more now.
Go for it.
I'm still very excited to be talking to you, to be honest with you.
Go for it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It made my day today. So thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. So, lovey, so we're going to wrap up this episode here on Universal Spirit Podcast here with Karma's Eye Psychic LLC. And I will see you in the next episode.
Great. All right. Thank you.